One could spend a great deal of time identifying each and every motive in Wagner's operas and in other operas by other German composers. But instead of giving you an exhaustive list of those motives, I invite you to scour the many websites devoted to Das Rheingold and the other Wagner music dramas where avid fans have done a lot of this work for us. Before we leave this music drama, I would like to give you two more motives to consider. In the third scene of Das Rheingold, Loge and Wotan have tricked Alberich into coughing up the gold the dwarf had stolen from the Rhine maidens. The fourth scene begins with Alberich reluctantly turning over most of the gold that remained unforged, but he initially tries to keep the ring he made. Wotan doesn't like being trifled with, so he removes the ring from Alberich by force. So Alberich, in his fury, curses the ring before he leaves. Here's what that curse sounds like.
Wie durch Flure mir geriet, verflucht sei dieser Ring. Hab sein Gold in mir Macht ohne Maß, nun zeug sein Zauber tut, dem der ihn trägt.
Hang on to the sound of that motive. When Fasolt and Fafner, the two giants, return, Wotan, with more than a little help from others, he is the king of the gods after all, piles up the pilfered gold to block the giants' view of Freya. After all, they, the giants, have agreed to accept the gold instead of Freya, provided that Wotan could pile the gold up in such a way that it could block their view of her. The workers do a pretty good job of hiding Freya behind the gold, but the giants manage to see her through a small hole. Surely there must be some more gold lying around somewhere. Well, actually, there are two small holes. One is filled by a magic helmet that Alberich had crafted, and the helmet has its own motive, but I'll pass over that for now. Wotan has all of the gold from Alberich's home in Nibelheim. There is no more gold left other than what's now there in Valhalla. It looks as though the giants will now haul Freya off and Wotan will be stuck with a lot of gold that he has little use for. Then the giants see a ring on Wotan's finger and demand that the ring be used to block that final hole. But Wotan refuses to give it away. He knows its power, and he doesn't want it to fall into the hands of the giants. That's when the goddess Erde arises. In German, Erde means earth, and she comes up from the ground to warn Wotan about all the evils that will befall him if he doesn't give up the ring. Notice how similar Erde's motive is to the motive for the Rhine. And when you think of it, it would make sense that parts of the story that represent nature might have musical motives that themselves are related. So Wotan gives in and casts the ring onto the pile of gold. The giants can no longer see Freya, so they agree to accept the gold as fair payment in exchange for Freya, whom they had previously taken away. As they depart, we hear them quarrel over who gets the ring. The music tells the story better than I can. Let me just tell you that when you hear the pounding on the kettle drums, Fafner has just killed Fasolt, Listen carefully to what happens after that.
Halt, du Gieriger, gönne mir auch was. Friedliche Teilung taugt uns beiden. Wir der Mädels an Gold, nach die verliebten Geck. Mit Mühe zum Tausch vermocht ich dich toren, ohne zu teilen hättest du freier gefreit. Teil ich den Ort, will ich mir heilig die größte Hälfte für mich. Stellt mich du, für diesen Kind, euch ruf ich zu Richtern, teilen nach Recht und friedlich den Ort. Den Ort, das ihn raffen, als du nur auf den Wink. Zurück, du Frecherei, ist der Ring, wie der Berliner für freies Blick, Kornhaus, der Ring ist mein. Ich halte dir gehört er, weil die Christ das nicht Nun Berlins Leder frei als Blick an den Reif frierst du nicht mehr. Furchtbar nun erfind ich des Fluches Kraft.
That's not the last time we'll hear the motive for the Curse of the Ring. Indeed, all of the motives we've covered in the 3 lectures devoted to Das Rheingold will appear in some or all of the other 3 music dramas that collectively make up Der Ring des Nibelungen, a 15-hour extravaganza that, to this day, remains one of the pinnacles not just of German opera, but of all human endeavor. Created over the course of 24 years, Wagner managed to tell a humongous story on a gargantuan musical canvas. I'll have more to say about The Ring when we come to Wagner later. But let's leave these operas for now and come to some understanding of what we've just been through together. I have some thoughts in summary of this introduction to German opera in the final lecture for this section.